Hey guys, hello. Let me share my screen. Share. Hello everybody. Let me know if you guys can see me. Hey, good morning, Hassan. Are you guys seeing the screen? Are you guys seeing me? Let me know. Let me see what I'm seeing myself. I see myself. Okay. Mute this guy. Skip it. Good morning, guys. Are you guys seeing me? Let's make sure you guys are seeing me, hearing me, doing all the right things. Yes, no. Give me a good morning. AV is all good. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you. All right. I'm watching. I'm gonna go to my charts. So, hey, good morning, guys. Good morning. I'm very excited to trade with you guys. This is part of our weekly Tuesday, Wednesday live trading in futures and CFDs. Right now, I have a trade in the S&P 500, which not quite working out for me just yet. Short the S&P 500. I'm going to explain to you why I'm trading this in front of the open. Probably, problematic, but I'm going to take the trade because it's part of my process of how I want to be taking trades today. I'm going to explain everything in just a second. We're going to let everybody come in. I opened up the room a little bit early, so. So let me see. We're going to let everybody crawl in around 9:15. Any questions? Post up in the chat room. Say hello to me. Anything else on your mind? I am ready to go. I'm going to make this a really cool experience for you. You are looking at our proprietary super scalper indicator right now in my charts. You are seeing it both on the S&P and on the NASDAQ right now. We'll flip around through all the major index pairs or major assets for trading. I'm going to try and trade everything I can that makes sense. Let me see if I can get the gold as well. Let's take a look at gold here. Gold is also a big dumpster fire right over here. So I have lots of interesting things to share with you that came out of a lot of our work in Pass the Prop yesterday. I think it's going to make it super easy for you to understand how we plan on passing and working the prop tests. Right now, we're going to start fresh. I'm starting fresh with a $20,000, $50,000 account. I traded it just yesterday. I made a couple $100 on it right now, and we're trading basically one large contract or one mini contract per this account. I'll explain to you the ratios, the sizing, and the strategies in just a bit. I just want to make sure that everybody comes into the room. It's still early. I just open up the room right now. So ask me any questions you have. Twitter is very quiet. Got nothing else going on here. I'm just looking around, see what's in the news. Not much. There's definitely no data today that's of any interest. Here's financial juice. Hopefully you guys. Oh, you guys are not even seeing this thread. Okay, I'm gonna stay on the. I'm just checking some of the other threads. I'm just looking at my thing here. The link in the latest scalper is in Discord, in my Ask Boris Discord under Bounce Tools. So just simply just message me within Discord, and I'll get you the direct link of where it goes. So it's all right there. All right. And 9:16. Give it a couple more minutes for people to come in. Pre-market open, 15 minutes before the open. Floating is short in the S&P. It's kind of pushing against me. Not quite doing what I needed to do. I'll explain exactly why I'm short this thing. Looking at, I'm going to look. No trades in gold because gold is just too far down for us. May look to short NASDAQ. I don't want to double short in front of the market open. One of the sort of less intelligent things to do is to short right before the market open, because what they tend to do is they like to squeeze you up and then drop you like a stone on the open. There's a lot of retail orders on the open. Essentially, the first dip orders that come in, they'll have to sweep those orders up, offer them out, and then actually create the real move to the downside. The only time where you get like a dip in the open is when everybody is really, really panicking and freaking out. At that point, they drop it really, really hard and then they bounce it. So you always have to be very, very careful. I do have a small minor position in the S&P, and that's going to be all I'm going to be doing before the open. But then once the open comes in, we're going to try and look for those setups. So maybe this is a good time. We got 10, 15 minutes before we actually get into hand-to-hand combat with the market. This might be a really good time for me to show you what the setup is, right? What the actual setup is on all my trades. So the first order of business, and I'll go to full screen. And let's use NASDAQ as an example, and then we will show everything else. So this is the super scalper strategy. And what you will notice is that there are these dumpster fire, big fire emojis coming in off these big red candles. What that's signifying to you is that this is heavy selling within a overall downtrend. And the way we know there's an overall downtrend is, I don't have the, I hid this, but if I click over here and say show table, this will show me the full analytical table of the instrument that I'm looking at. So you can see that we had an 80 basis point range. The high and the low in the NASDAQ is here. And the trend on the 1 hour chart, which is the longer term trend, is bearish. And it's been bearish for only very, very young, only about 101 minutes, less than 2 hours of it turning bearish on the 1 hour. That's a major move, because once something turns bearish on the 1 hour, it tends to stay that way, or bullish either way. It tends to stay that way for at least 2 or 3 days. So now we operating under the assumption that NASDAQ and the S&P are both sells. And the easiest way for us to trade intelligently is when we are trading within a general negative trend, which is exactly what we're in right now, is to basically wait very patiently once we get these dumpster fire signals for price to rally above the 8-period moving average and then close below. Right now, in this particular case, what's happening is I was actually short in my other account. It rallied above, closed below, and it's just been basically treading water. We're just not moving at all in any direction. But the principle is very much this: we're trading with scalping with a trend. Once we break the 8-period moving average, we go up and down, because it means they rallied it and they couldn't hold the rally. That means more selling might be coming. As you can see here in the S&P, right? This is the trade that I'm doing. And you see same kind of a thing. Dumpster fire sales, price rallies. They break the moving average over here. I sell it, and I'm basically looking only for one single point. We trade this with a very, very negative risk-reward ratio, which many of you may find offense with, but let me explain to you what we do and why we do this. When you're trading on a shorter term day trading basis, when you're scalping, the basic idea here is for us to make 10, maybe 15 trades within the 8 o'clock to 12 noon hour, about the 4 hours of trading. Today is kind of a very, very quiet day, so I only made 2 or 3 trades so far. But the idea is to make quick profits. Boom, 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 boom. If you want to make quick profits, and here we go, we've made our first profit of the day. We just banked $50 on the S&P. You need to have extraordinarily disciplined expectations. It's the opposite. What people teach you generally is, you have to have very, very tight stops and big targets. That's a prescription for playing the lottery. That's what the lottery is. Lottery is, I have $1 and a dream. I put $1 and I'm hoping to make $1 million. We play the insurance model the insurance business model. The insurance business model is the exact opposite. That's actually what Warren Buffett makes all his money in. He runs Geico, which, by the way, covers all of my cars and my houses. Great insurance company. And the whole idea of an insurance company is, I'm going to pay you out $50,000. You're going to pay me $1,000. But because I know the odds, I'm going to collect a lot more money than I pay out. So we're not quite insurance company odds, obviously, but we are 1 to 3, because the game here is for us to have 10 wins, 2 losses. Sometimes if we're really good, sometimes we just have 10 wins, 1 loss per day. If we're anywhere in those ratios, we're net positive 4 or net positive 6. That's a very, very attractive P&L. And what's most importantly about all of this is that when you're in that kind of a structure, right? Single entry, single exit, single unit of trade. In this case, a mini contract. You are playing well within every single prop company rules. You're not trading too large. Your drawdown here, just to give you an example, this is a $250,000 account. I have a $4,000 budget. On any given trade here, the most I'm going to lose is $300. So in this particular trade, I actually lost 100. I would have lost 150 because this is the S&P. But the maximum I allow myself is 1 contract with a 1 to 3 ratio. So on NASDAQ, it's a $100 win, $300 loss. On gold, $100 win, $300 loss. On S&P and the Dow, it's 50 win, 150 loss, right? So if I have a $300 loss, I have to have 10 consecutive losing trades, and I still will not break the bank. I still have another $1,000 in the bank. But that's not how we trade. I mean, what we trade is we try to have 1 loss, 2 losses a day, and they're then made up by a whole bunch of small wins that turn the whole account either net neutral or positive. So what we want to have is, there's 3 possibilities throughout our whole trading day and the way we trade in BK. We have a nice, clean, positive day. Like, let's say, for this particular account, the target would be maybe about $500, per each day. A mildly positive day, $100, $200, or a mildly negative day, a couple of $100. Because remember, even if I lose $300 on 1 trade, there are 2 or 3 other trades that I'm going to be making money on. So my net will be only minus $100 at the end of the day. Doing this, I have a very steady, certain, confident path to getting funded. This is how every single week many of our traders get funded in my room. Okay, like there literally has not been a week since we started doing this process that a new trader has not been funded in my room. Happy to show you their strategies, and they're all using variations of these strategies. Now, you can increase size, you can get bigger, you can get smaller. The point being is, the key things you want to do is you want to trade in the immediate direction of the trend. So I always want to be selling when it breaks the 8-period SMA to the downside. I want to be buying when it breaks it to the upside. I want to be trading generally into the direction of the big trend, right? Generally, it pays. Just wait patiently, let it break the moving averages, and sell in an overall negative trend. And let me see where NASDAQ is. NASDAQ is still, still just basically playing around. And you notice I'm not making any trades right now before we open up. But the principal ideas before we start trading is always trade in the direction of the trend. Always trade in the absolute most liquid hours of the day, which is right now, 8 o'clock New York to 12 noon New York. Maximum liquidity, maximum participation, maximum volatility. We need movement. We need continuity. We're trading continuity. Every time we make a trade, we're betting that there is, we sell over here, we're betting that there's more continuity. Small amount of continuity. That's where the greed factor comes in. We have the least amount of possible greed we can. Highest probability of continuity we can capture. We capture that continuity, move on to the next one. That's what we need in order to be able to create a very, very stable, clean trade. Let me see, there's some questions in the room here. Yes, Kathy left a code, by the way. Yes, we have a great partner with Apex Trading. They're extending their sales to like the whole month of May. So it's incredibly cheap. I would recommend you just lock in 4 or 5 accounts and try it with, with all these different strategies. Either a, small risk strategy that I'm showing you now, a high risk version of this would be to say, I'm not going to trade one contract. I'm going to trade like 5 every single time. So I'm only going to give myself maybe 4 or 5 terminal stop, 4 or 5 chances before I get terminally stopped out. But if I'm correct, I'll be able to make my target and get funded within a week. My methodology here guides you to getting funded within a month, within 20 trading days. Slow and steady and confident. This way, I confirm to every single rule that every single prop firm has. And more importantly, when you trade live, when you're trading with real money, once you get funded, you maintain these really, really good quality behaviors. 2 minutes to go, 9:28. Just watching the markets. Nothing much going on here. You can see we're as flat as an EKG of a coma patient here right now. Not really much going on here. It's been quiet last 2 days, both Monday, Tuesday, because we haven't had much data. Next week should be a blast. We got the CPI next week. I'm really hoping I can, can't promise you anything. I'll definitely be trading with you, but if I can marshal Kathy, we might be able to do live CPI trading, which will be really, really awesome. And trade the event and then trade the market open. But the principal idea is that I wanted to sear into your head. The most important is when 8 o'clock to 12 noon US. If you're trading all of these indices, because this is when you get the highest degree of liquidity, right? The highest participation liquidity. The second most important thing is trade with trend. So if you get a dumpster fire condition, by the way, gold is just getting decimated, right? Oh, I missed the trade in gold. Sorry. I was talking, I was trying to set ourselves up. So this would have been a great trade in gold. Gold has just kind of been a super, super strong, interesting trade for us. So the trade in gold here would have been, we have these red dumpster fire candles, goes above the moving average, breaks, comes back and loses it at 18.3, 18.4. That would have been a super easy sell over here. I just wasn't, didn't have it on my screen here to watch it. So alas, no gold. Watching NASDAQ, but we're market open now. What is it? 10, 15 seconds to the market open, 9:29.49. Let's see if there's any volatility. And usually, like the first 10, 15 minutes, we're going to try and settle into some kind of a routine. Today may be one of those days where it's just very, very quiet. So on my other account, let me make sure that this actually worked. I think it got done. Let me see. Yeah, I got done on my other, just to show you. I did have a negative trade. Hang on, sorry, just taking a second to. It was on the small size, and you see over here, this was the same principle. We had short off a dumpster fire. I was able to collect it on the open. I didn't want to do it on this one because opening range trades are always kind of very, very annoying. Okay, let's go back to the big account, trade big size, and find good, interesting opportunities. So let me go into NASDAQ, not the mini NASDAQ. So the other thing that I wanted to kind of share with you. So we talked about when, we talked about what, which is trading, super scalper in the direction of the trend. As you can see, everything is in dumpster fire conditions. So gold is a sell, NASDAQ is a sell. Let's look at. I think the Dow Jones actually is not a sell. So Dow Jones, and we can confirm this. We can confirm the Dow Jones with by going to our table. One of the cool things is this has a. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. It'll be this. Oh no, this one right over here. Yeah, no, the Dow Jones is also a sell. It's bearish for the last 76 minutes. So all of these. All of these are now bearish. So we're looking now. So here's Dow Jones. Not much movement here. Okay, now here's one of my favorite setups. So we're going to watch this very, very carefully. So remember, NASDAQ is dumpster fire red. It's just all set. Now we're getting a counter trend rally getting these big green candles. These green candles mean that there is a massive extension away from the moving average. That means there's buyers are overwhelming the sellers. It's an extension to the moving average. So within, though, the larger negative trend, right? Larger negative trend. I love this setup, but you have to be very, very patient for it, because what I'm waiting for now is if the buyers are going to lift it, then they're going to lift it higher, and it's fine. I'm going to let it go. If the buyers lift it just a little bit as a short covering exercise, and they can't hold these levels, and they start breaking the trade below the moving average, well, then we have a perfect setup for a sell. We have a sell off of green instead of a sell off of red. Right now, it's a little too early to tell. We're waiting for the candle to close, and we're going to watch this very, very carefully. So far, it's holding bid. It may take a couple of minutes for the market to settle in. It may very well be that the market decided they want to short cover and they want to start rallying a little bit. But remember, the overall trend in NASDAQ, in gold, in the Dow, in the S&P is negative. So we have, the green candle. The green candle is a fadeable candle under these conditions. It means that if we can break the moving average, and we have to do so only once the candle closes. It's not enough for us just to touch it. We need to close below the moving average on the closing of the candle. Right now, 30 seconds left on this thing, so no trades, and we're staying very, very patient. This is the way we make sure that we have the highest possibility of a setup that can occur, right? Dow is just doing nothing. Let me see what the S&P is doing over here. S&P broke the moving average over here, but we already made our short over here. So I'm not following up on this trade just yet. Although this would have worked. This actually would have worked if I had shorted this over here. So now this is starting to break, and now I'm watching this pretty carefully. I got 50 seconds left. Let's see if NASDAQ is going to break or hold the moving average right now. I want to go in the sell mode on. No, I want to go in sell mode over here. One of the important things about TradingView is you want to make sure you're clicking the right chart, because the chart is tied to the ticket. So if I was on the S&P, I would have been on the wrong side of the chart. You see how this was a little bit of a fake out, dip below, pop above. The first 10-15 minutes, that's what you get. And I try to be very, very careful not to trip myself up unnecessarily into false moves, which is what happens quite a lot right now. No, I'm not using the EMA. I'm using the SMA. I'm keeping it super simple. It's the super simple scalping strategy. You don't need to be complex. You just need to be on the right side of the market to make it work. That's all. It's an 8 period. It's a small sample size already. It doesn't need to be finessed statistically. This is a 1 minute time frame. I'm on a 1 minute time frame over here. We're scalping the 1 minute time frame. I got 40 seconds left. We're below the moving average here on the NASDAQ, but we need to close below the moving average. And again, you see how we're testing the lows, coming back up. There's buyers, on the bid right now. Same with NASDAQ. It feels like it feels right now like they're carving out a bottom. Like this is not a beautiful trade that I want to be short. Generally, you saw the big sell. If we go just sort of into NASDAQ, you can see NASDAQ's been selling off more than 100 points, 200 points up to the 80s, all the way prior to the open. Generally, when we have a big European open before the open, there's going to be some kind of a reversal flow. And reversal flow is just notoriously bad to go with trend, because this is the possibility where you sell the lows. I don't need to sell the lows, so I'm just staying very, very patient with my trades, right? The big sells were over here, but obviously you guys weren't here with me to trade that, so it doesn't mean anything. So watching this, we're holding the bid. It's 25 seconds left. Looks like we want to run it a little bit higher, which is fine. Maybe they want to run it to 140, 150. Another green candle to the upside. All the better. That means we have a chance to run maybe a little bit higher and then fail at a higher level, hopefully a higher probability trade. Because again, remember, it's still a dumpster fire status. It was still negative status, right? Here is the S&P that's doing nothing. I think the Dow is probably also very quiet. We're super quiet. We're like 2 or 3 points up. Waiting for the chart to come in. This, we're not even stretching away from moving averages, except for the NASDAQ, to make it green or red candles. It's so quiet. Here's gold. Gold is kind of bit over here. Now, if you want to be contrarian, you want to be cutesy. I love being contrarian and cutesy, but I'm trying to teach everybody good habits. You can say, okay, we had a red sell in gold. Now we recaptured the moving average. I want to try to buy this. And this is sort of a classic buy to dip strategy. It's not optimal. It's possible. It's definitely, it's certainly workable. And within gold, which has a really, really strong underlying bid, it's worthwhile. But it's not the optimal strategy. Like, I could have bought this here 7.6, and it probably would have worked for 18.6. And if you love to buy bottom, sell tops, this is the only way you want to do it. You want to let it absolutely recover the moving average and do so. But as you can see here, it's kind of just dying out. It's not able to really hold the moving average that well here in gold. I got 26 seconds left here. I'm kind of tempted. I don't love to. I really don't love selling gold here, but let's give it a shot because I want to show you the. I'd rather show you the process. So again, we went up above the moving average, came back down below the moving average. We're obviously dumpster fire sold. Okay, I'm short gold here at 17.3. No, 17.7. No, 16.7. I'm sorry, 16.7. Target is 15.7, and stop is 19.7. And I'm obviously getting retraced hard here on this move. Because again, I really didn't want to sell this lowest, but I wanted to show you the setup because a big part of this trading with me is just watching me do the setups over and over again, so you can understand the process. It's one thing to describe it; it's quite a different thing to actually show it to you. So, gold negative bid, dumpster file sells. We broke the moving average. I'm trying to go for $1. I'm trying to make $1 with a $3 stop on gold. Let's see if I get some continuity on gold here. I'm trying to buy this thing at 15.7. 16.7 is the sell. 19.7 is the stop. You can see the big numbers over here. They're in big numbers. Meantime, NASDAQ really cranking up to the upside, which is fine. And we're just letting it go because we didn't fall for that for that false break here because there was no false break. They did not break below the moving average. And now we're going to just be very, very patient and see if it can actually break the moving average. And do its thing for us, Anytime I'm just watching gold here. Let's see what gold does. So with gold, by the way, what I really love to do is sell the greens. I don't love to sell the reds. Selling the greens over here, you can see this is the greens. It breaks the moving average. Boom, money. Even selling the greens over here would have been good for at least a point. And then the next break over here would have been a really good move, for a point. So I like selling the greens in gold, not necessarily the reds. But gold is really starting to get hopefully a little bit more negative. Maybe it's going to break 210s. I actually thought it was going to probably test 2,300. But it's a quiet day, so it's hard. It's just not a lot of movement either way. Gold has been literally like the greatest trade, regardless of what it does on this trade. It's been a really, really good quality trade responding to this setup. NASDAQ, teasing, testing. We got 28 seconds left. It really needs to break this to the bottom to play itself out. So I'm going to get myself organized for NASDAQ. We're trading this with it's a 5 target 15 stop on NASDAQ, 100, 200 on the risk, 9 seconds left. Really needs to, if it's closing above the moving average, it's not a trade. It's not a trade right now. You see, needs to break that moving average to really make it viable. Now, the other thing is, and this is where it all becomes nuance. Everything ultimately always becomes a little bit of a nuance. If it does break, you don't want it to break too hard. Like if it breaks for 20 points, it's not that great a trade. You want it to be as close to the moving average as possible, but below it, or as close to the moving average as possible, but above it, for the long side, in order to really get positionality, to get decent position on the trade, right? So you can see it was sort of really jarring up and down here. Do I manually exit and reverse? No, I don't reverse. Because remember, I'm trading one direction of the market right now, which is the long-term negative. So I wait for the next setup. I'm not flipping my trades up and down because I'm just being very, very methodical about, setup works, great. Setup doesn't work, I wait for the next setup. We try and do 10, 15 trades in a 4-hour period. Today is a super slow day. You can just see there's just nothing much going on here. Not a lot of greens, not a lot of reds, not a lot of opportunities. Let's see the S&P. S&P not doing anything. Everything is just kind of, very, very quiet, very huggy. Dow is definitely dumpster fire. So like Dow is another interesting thing. It looks like my gold is gonna eat me. I'm gonna eat the So I eat the trade on gold. However, here's the cool part. Gold shows me a green candle, which means that now I'm going to watch this very carefully for a strong green sell. In other words, it's going to go, and if gold gives up the moving average on a green sell, I'm more than happy to short it over here. In the meantime, let's go look at NASDAQ. Is NASDAQ finally breaking the moving average? Not quite. But you see how it's the last few candles, it's been just sort of hovering. So let's get involved on NASDAQ here. Let's get ourselves set up to see if we can get a NASDAQ sell. And we'll watch the gold out of the corner of our eyes. Yes, closest to the SMA. So you have the highest possibility of making target and the widest possible stop. You don't have you minimize retrace risk by trying to be as close to the SMA as possible. Yeah, that's exactly it. So watching both from the corner of my eye, NASDAQ continues to grind higher. So really no opportunities here. Really feels like the European sell-off is just sort of being slowly bought, which means we could have a trend directional change. So I'm perfectly mindful of that. But I do think we'll have some profit taking before that. Watching gold right now. Let's see what it can do. Whether it's going to break the moving average. NAS is popping really nicely. All right, watching gold. 47 seconds left on gold. It's breaking the moving average off the green. So let's see if this offers us any opportunity. And NASDAQ just starts soaring higher. So I'm just watching that. Although not closing below, which means there's no signal. Let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ is just crawling. So I have no trade. I have no trade because the general trend is negative, and I'm trying to just be very disciplined and trade with a general trend instead of trying to be cute, buy the dips, sell the dips. It all would have worked within this particular segment, but those are just cowboy variations of all my rules. So I don't you know, I don't want to play around. I want to show you guys sort of rigid, logical entries here. So waiting for gold. Gold needs to break around 1900. If it closes 23.19, that would be a good signal for us. Maybe 23.18. Yeah, 18.7. 28 seconds left on gold. If it ends 18.7, 18.5, that's a sell signal for us. If it does, if it goes above, we have to wait patiently. NASDAQ rallying. I'm just trying to see it where, you know, where the levels are. I guess NASDAQ is finding right around this 150 level, right? This 150, and the next one would be 200. That's where we're all looking at. Gold also continues to climb. You see how the moving average keeps you honest, right? You are not tripping unnecessarily into trades. You're waiting for the market to give you a sign, tell you, you know, the buyers and the sellers are, you know, in sync here. 16, 17 seconds. If we stay here, that would be a sell for me. If we get up to above 19, it's not. Well, actually, right here would be a sell for me. Oh, and I'm selling it at 18.3, 17.3 is my target, and 21.3 is my stop. So, yeah, 18.4. I sold at 18.4. You can see the lettering over here. So my target is going to be 17.3 on the break of this moving average off the green into a dumpster fire. And we'll see if gold works. Gold, gold is a very tough trade to the short side because gold has just been an underlying buy bid. And the smart thing to do is to just buy everything in gold to the buy side. But I want to practice with you guys the trend-based scalping. I don't want to, there's 100 different ways I could, change the setup. But I think it's more important for you to see the setup, good, better, indifferent, consecutively 4, 5, 6, 10 times in a row in all these sessions, so that it can just be seared in your mind's eye, right? You can totally get it. So I'm like at 80. Okay, I'll just take it right here. It goes to target, but it's close enough. It just just again, I want to show you what happens. You see, boom, I break, I take the momentum. Now, more dumpster fire selling. We can wait now for the retrace. But gold, as I was saying to you, is such a strong positive bid trade that the only trades that really work well are sell the greens, within a negative overall scale. Like right now, it's a global bearish sentiment because the 1 hour chart is bearish. And if that's the case, and you only want to take bearish short trades, you only want to be selling the green candles, the breaks of the green candles, because the red candles, sometimes they work, but sometimes they just, again, you get hit into a sell down. Whereas this, first of all, this is all negative sales anyways, but now we have, negative sales off the greens here. If this breaks the moving average, then I want to be short this thing. Let me see how the S&P is doing. Look how slow the S&P is. It's not even showing any green candles. No, it's a very slow move. The moving average, we're not even pulling away really hard like we are in NASDAQ to show us any movement. Oh, you know what I want to see? I haven't looked. Oil has also been super quiet. Now, oil is also a dumpster fire trade, right? A real dumpster fire trade, in a sense that it's been negative for quite a while. And I'm actually, this is actually a good thing for us. Now, same kind of a thing. We're going to trade this with a 1-3, 10 cents, 30 cents on oil. But what I'm looking for right now is a break of the moving average on oil. Maybe off the next one. We'll see. So we can trade oil as well. But right now, what's interesting is NASDAQ testing the moving average. So we'll get big on NASDAQ. Just look at this for a second. 40 seconds left. Really needs to basically close like at around 45, somewhere around there, to meaningfully break the moving average and allow me to make the trade. Oh, holds bid. They just, they're buying the whole dip, the whole European sell-off, just totally being bought. And what they're trying to do is run this thing all the way to the highs of the day and squeeze out everybody who is short from the top, which is classic market move here. Sorry, I gotta take my glass out. The exact way to enter the trade. I just showed you with gold, right? I showed you with gold how we entered the trade exactly. So let me put the gold chart on the chart, right? We had the gold trade. We had a green candle. We looked for the candle to close below the moving average. It did. We closed. We got short. One, dollar trade, boom, right then and there. That's the classic. So we're always looking for it to either give up the 8 moving average or to break up above it in an uptrend and trade it that way. Just keep ourselves on the right side of the moving average flow. Oh, I think I need to, let me just see something. Are the futures? No, I got to trade the June futures. Oh, no wonder this is all wrong. Okay, so let me trade the June futures. One sec, guys. I'm going to move this off. I'm going to get rid of this. I want to add futures, crude oil futures, June. Where's the crude oil futures June? Huh. Sorry. Still watching. I'm watching this out of the corner of my eye also here. But let me just add this up. I want to add this. Futures CL. Oh, June. Add to watch list. Oh, I guess it's CL2. It's calling it CL2. Okay, let's see if this is the right one. I just want to move it into my territory and trade this. Yeah, I guess this is the June futures. That's the correct one. Okay, so watching this, by the way, watching NASDAQ, seeing if anything can break to the downside. The moving average is 8 periods. All right, watching oil here, see if it gives up the moving average. Oil is a dumpster fire sale, meaning that it's a net negative trade on the 1 hour chart. Kind of looks negative. NASDAQ is just pulling away. This is I've seen this so many times, guys, and this is one of the more interesting things about this setup is you notice the one thing I didn't do, right? I had a bias. I'm trading the 1 hour negative trade. The trade completely reversed. We're basically trading completely to the upside. By waiting patiently, I haven't taken a one bad trade in NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ just been a creeper to the upside. And I didn't take it because it never broke the moving average. Therefore, it never put me into a bad trade. Now, maybe right now that it's finally ready to do that. I've got 55 seconds. We'll have to see. We know that oil is breaking the moving average too. So I got too many things going on here, but let's just do this. We're going to make this 10 cent. Oops. $10 and $30 on oil. Nope. Oil recovers, finds bid. NASDAQ recovers, finds bid. Seems to be the story of the day here. We're just staying very, very patient. No trades also means no mistakes. I'm trying. That's just as important as making good trades. So fortunately, I got nothing going on here, unfortunately. But we're going to be here every Tuesday, Wednesday. You're going to see thousands of these trades by the time I'm done, and you're going to understand exactly how the setup works. Okay, watching the the NASDAQ at that 60 level. 46 seconds left. If basically we're at 58 or below, that will provide us with a interesting sell opportunity on NASDAQ. But it's got to close 58 or below. Otherwise, just nothing going on here. Everything creeping up. 10 seconds left, 9 seconds left. Let's see where we go. I said we got to be at around 58. I'm going to be very patient. I'm going to let the candle complete because I've seen this trade play itself out. Okay, you know what? All right, I'm going to take the trade here. And so I am short 59.75, target 54.75, and 74.75. Where am I? I was almost there, right? Let's go to the DOM. Let's see where I'm at. 54.75. That's where I'm at. Short. Now it goes up against me. Yeah, 59.75. It came very, very close. Came super close. 55. Just missed me by a quarter of a point. That happens. We'll have to see. I'm gonna let it trade. It wasn't, it was one of those trip trades. You could see that, it just hung. I pressed the trade, but it looks like it really wants to go high today. It looks like the short trades. It's really a recovery move in risk during the North American Open. Like the whole morning, we just basically bought the whole downside move, right? So now I have to just be very patient. Let's see if this trade works. Doesn't work. We'll reset. But I pressed the trade because I wanted to show you it was close enough. It was like a neighborhood trade that I wanted to show you the trade in principle. It still wasn't a great trade because it didn't really close below the moving average. You can see it hung on the moving average. Really needed to have closed below. Should have closed at 58. Would have was super close. Now I'm getting tagged out because super strong markets. I'm just not, we're just going, the other way. So nothing is working, but I'm not hurting myself too badly. It's just mild blips because I'm not doing a whole bunch of unnecessary trades. I will do it one more time. We got, first half hour. So basically the story is the first half hour, massive recovery of this sell-off, which afforded zero intelligent short trades in any of these things. Let's see how. I'm actually curious. Okay, so oil right now testing me right here. 35 seconds. We're going to get into get ourselves ready, but it's got to really break towards 87. Seems like a same story across everything. There's just nothing going down. All right, watching the S&P. So the S&P here, trying to see if I can break this this low. I love to trade the S&P because it's relatively easy to make a point in the S&P if it can break. And so is NASDAQ. NASDAQ is finally starting to break too. So both of these trades could possibly be a trade. We're just going to have to watch them very carefully here. But they got to close below the moving averages. 19, 20 seconds. That's NASDAQ still holding right below the moving average. Nope. No trade. No trade. Let's see. Okay, now it's a trade. So again, now it's targeting 56. 76 is the stop. And I guess 61 was the entry, right? It's a 5-point target. So targeting 56. Let's see if we can get the 56 on the downside. Watching that, the S&P right over here, it's got 39 seconds breaking the moving average. I will, if it breaks the moving average, I'll take that short. If it doesn't, we'll let it fly. NASDAQ is going to torture me back and forth. No trade on that on the S&P right now. And it looks like NASDAQ is just too strong a buying. NASDAQ is just all buying. Every dip below the moving average not working. I'm just gonna have to abandon the setup for today. There's just no quality setups on this particular setup because we are reversing the whole this whole signal to the downside. That the trend is a false signal. The trend is literally changing as we speak. And it's probably going to change positive on the 1-hour chart within a few minutes. This is a classic. So the scalp works beautifully when the trend is in play. And the trend was very early and it was in play. But what we ran into today was a classic regime change. Regime change from negative trend to positive trend. And it's just, 2 or 3 trades really, really going the other way. I think 2 trades. I think it was two trades that just went against me here. Totally the wrong way, a little bit frustrating, but you have days like this. Oh. You see how we did a full curve, right? If this was a true continuation trade, it would have been down. It just like and every moving average dip really wasn't a strong dip. I was just sort of forcing these trades because I wanted to show you the setups. They did work in gold. This is actually a setup right here, and we're going to take this setup over here because again, I want to show you the setup as it trades. Got 11 seconds. This is a legitimate break now at 5-6 seconds. As long as it doesn't move its way back down, and we're going to sell this now. So, and the S&P, by the way, is my favorite setup. NASDAQ is a much harder instrument to trade because it will just stop you out before you get a chance to hit the target. With the S&P, all you need to do is just make 1 point, and when you have a 1 to 3 ratio, you give yourself enough breathing room to really kind of make that 1 point. So hopefully this will prove me right that that I'm on the right side of the trend, or I'm just really getting myself caught in the regime change continuously. But the target here is 250 on the S&P. Sell was 350. Stop is 650. No, size stays the same. I'm not increasing size. I'm just today I've just bled out a little bit. This is why I keep size small. Today is one of those days where it's going to be a negative day. Although the day is only starting for me. There's a couple more hours. We'll see if I can get some of it back. but I'm not increasing size. This isn't a situation where I'm going to be increasing size. I'm just staying disciplined. I caught a lot of bad trades today because of the regime change that happens, and I just have to be very patient. Let's watch this this S&P trade here. We need to see 325 on the trade. Watching the NASDAQ break the moving average again. 3 times is a charm. I'm proud. If this thing stays here, I will sell it, because this is pretty much a legitimate sell signal. So S&P gets done. You see how the S&P gets done? That's a nice clean sell. So let's see if NASDAQ, my nemesis today, I'm selling the NASDAQ, and let's see if this finally gets me done. My target is 61.25 on NASDAQ. Let's go to the DOM. Let's see, or is NASDAQ just going to torture me completely? 61.25 on NASDAQ. So I guess the third component to my trading, when I'm trading live with you guys, I want to trade as many instruments as possible. But the third component is like, what's the best instrument to trade for the highest degree of certainty? By far, the S&P. The S&P is like a 10 wins, 1 loss instrument for me. NASDAQ is a bitch. It's, even if I'm right, I can be wrong. Finally, it looks like I'm not even. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Just trying to make 5 points, and it's just really herky jerky. Only when you get huge sell-offs, good continuity trades, does the NASDAQ really make it easy for you. NASDAQ makes it much. The problem with NASDAQ, and this is the key thing of knowing the instruments, but I'm trading it because I want to show you all the instruments. As I said, with the S&P, giving yourself 3 points of breathing room almost assures that you can make that 1 point of target. Well, finally, NASDAQ resolves. NASDAQ is much easier to scoot up, 15 points against you before it finally drops to 5 points. So, okay, not a great session today. I could say my apologies, but I'm trying to show you the setups. It's not. I didn't do anything wrong. The market just simply really was in a regime, in a phase transition. And that's the thing. When you're trading trend in a phase transition, you need to understand when your strategy suffers the most. So today was probably the single worst day we've had in my strategy in a couple of weeks. And it's still not bad, right? I only got clipped out twice here. I made some of it back. I made it back in the S&P. The S&P was a net positive for me. It's really only NASDAQ that was the big bleeder. Even gold, I think, was just basically net even on gold, right? And the day is not over. So, if I trade for a couple more hours, when we get a little bit more established on the moves, I might be able to, to get it back. But my function here with you guys is to show you at least 5, 10 of these setups, so you can actually see physically what I'm doing, why I'm entering at this particular time, what I'm trying to accomplish with the whole thing. Because if you can practice through visualization, you'll get a good idea. But if you really want to do this well, the sequence of trades is S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, or really sort of S&P, Dow, gold, NASDAQ in terms of the hierarchy of trades, right? I didn't get a chance. We took our eye off the ball on oil. I know where oil is at. Oil is still creeping up. Also, oil is just really creeping up. Although oil, interesting. Oil also presents us with like an interesting opportunity. So if oil, I think, breaks the moving averages here, and it's got to break. It's got to just breaking doesn't mean it touches and comes back above. It means it closes pretty much at the low of the candle, like over here where it breaks the moving average and it provides a clean, clear trade. Oil might be a trade for us. Let's just watch oil here for a second. The break here would be like 77.95. If it closes around there, I'd want to short it. So oil just took out the 78 handle in really kind of lackadaisical trade, right? And the other trade that I didn't get a chance to do because I'm just too busy was so here is oh, sorry, this is NASDAQ. No, I want YM. So here's the YM. This is the Dow, right? And again, the Dow here, a good example of where it would have. I wouldn't have taken this trade. Although this trade, if you sold this 96, you actually would have made. There was enough continuity here to have made 10 points, but this was too deep a move, and I wouldn't have done it. Right? I wouldn't have done it. I would have probably sold. The next break would have been over here. I would have sold the 13s. It would have gone against me a little bit, and then it would have dropped down to 01s, and it would have been fine. And I would have been able to sell it. The Dow actually looks like if the Dow right now closes, this is the 16, closes like 14 or lower. That's a reasonable short here. Double top on a Dow. It's negative bid. It breaks below the moving average should be great. Oil, by the way, just running away. So it looks like commodities are also turning themselves around. Yeah, I got to tell you, Johnny, this is the reason. The other thing is I like trading gold only to the long side. I did a lot of short gold trades just to show you the principle of the idea, but I really, really like trading it to the long side. Like gold is actually such a strong underlying bid that even if it's a sell on the 1 hour chart, anytime you can buy the move above the moving average, you're almost assured. Gold is the new buy the freaking dip trade. I was saying this to somebody else, that it is such a high probability to buy the dip and a move above in gold that it's almost worthwhile. Maybe next time that's all we're going to do. I wanted to show you the principle of the idea. So here's YM, by the way, breaking below the 14s, 21 seconds left on the clock. If it stays there, I'll take it. But if it doesn't, I won't. Would I enter trades NASDAQ US 30 after 12 p.m.? You know what I would do it? I would do it from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So the other liquidity window is 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I actually have a strategy that trades that, like an algo that trades it during those times. But yeah, that's my it's my other liquidity move. Actually, I want to see my algo. What is it doing? Oh, nice. Okay, good. It made money on all of it. But yeah, no, that's the other liquidity window. See, YM did not close 14, no trade, nothing. We're basically risk bid right now. Now everything can change in the next couple of hours. Maybe the market decides to sell off a little bit, but we are in a phase transition. We're not in a clean, clear downtrend. And today, all I was trying to do was sell in a phase transition, which is why it was tough. But as tough as it was, what I want to show you is, and this is the key thing. God knows everybody loves, nothing I would love more than every single day to be a winner or, beautifully nice, easy trades. But what you want for the strategy to be is when the day sucks, where literally nothing is working, it keeps you alive. And today, what you saw, if nothing else, is me staying alive with just marginal small clips, right? Nothing that's going to blow my account out, nothing that's going to take me out on my account and put me on a stretcher. Maybe a couple hundred, maybe $300-400 down on the account, but nothing that I can't make back probably before the end of the afternoon, but certainly make back before the end of the week. And the reason why is because even as I was losing, I was also making, right? It was 1-to-1. That's not positive. It's basically -2, but it's not, it's not horrible. And I wasn't scaling up. I wasn't using large size. I wasn't fighting the market. I was just trying the market. The market was punching me, and I was going back to my corner, getting defensive, and only taking trades, when I had a chance. So that's how it is. Not too many short trades because we have a phase transition. But next week we'll see. Maybe it'll be positive bid, and we'll just it'll just be super easy. So the order of priority, in my opinion, if you're trading futures instruments, what has the highest probability of making profit? The S&P. As long as you follow the rules, right? Follow the rules. Under the rules I've given you, the S&P has the highest probability. It's the easiest trade to make a point in. Next easiest is 10 points in Dow. Next easiest after that would be 10 points in gold, and the last one would be NASDAQ. NASDAQ is the most volatile, the hardest one to trade. I generally trade NASDAQ only on the small size, or don't trade it that much, or only trade it when I'm really, really confident that that I have a good setup, because it's such a volatile, herky jerky little trade. But yeah, I mean, that's how it sets up. Now we're going into, it's 10:30. It's actually very, very, very quiet. Sort of a really, really stally day today. Not much going on here. How's oil? Oh, here's oil. Ah, damn it. Sorry, I was talking and I missed it. So the oil trade was 704 sell. Now we'll still be floating the trade, but the reason why I don't want to take the trade is because, remember, I want to be in as good a position as possible to make my target. I'm just in the job of making my profits, not in the job of predicting long-term trades. So because I missed this trade at 04, I'm not taking it. It's 94 bid. If this goes 94, which maybe it will, this will be at 10 points that we could have had. Mondays are not bad to trade. I mean, they're definitely Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are the best days to trade. But it depends. This week is just no news, so there's not a. We thrive on active markets. I want to see markets that go up 1% a day. 1% a day markets is our best kind of markets. Today it's 18 basis points. There's not a lot of volatility in the markets today. So when we get that kind of slow markets, because what are we built on? We're built on the idea of continuity. We take a trade, we're assuming there's more continuity in that trade, right? We are trading the move to be continuous. And when there's no movement, it's very hard to get it. It's like, one step and you stop, one step and you stop, one step you stop and retrace, right? So the step, stop, retrace, that's sort of like the most toxic environment for us. And that's why I'm careful not to engage unless I have the thing. So remember, I said to you, 94 was the bid. Oil is super, super slow today. Jesus, really not moving. But oil came close. It came to 96. Maybe I would have taken a trade here. But that's why if you miss the trade, there's going to be another one 20 minutes forward. Just wait. It's like weather in Florida. If it's raining, just give it 20 minutes, it will change. And it's the same thing. So if I get 94 here, 95, 93. So this trade would have made the full 10 points in a classic, perfect, green breaks the moving average move. Just wanted to show you. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to do it because we were doing other things. But that's the setup. That's the structure that you wanted to trade. Where's the S&P? S&P going back up. Really, we got nothing going on here. It's if you like to be a counter trend trader, there's a lot of you could buy the moving average and have a very strong probability of resolving all this stuff. But that's much more advanced stuff, and I wanted to keep you guys on message with all this stuff. Gold is also really, really rocketing hard. Look at gold here today. Again, everything that you're seeing on the risk trade, and this is interesting, is Europe coming in, selling risk essentially at the open, and then just basically everything reversing. Not a big question in front of us on all these instruments is how much of juice is there in this reversal? Is this just a bullshit North American buy up? Doesn't look. I mean, NASDAQ looks pretty strong, right? I mean, if NASDAQ recovers 18,200, that's going to cause a lot of pain to the shorts. So. And it's probably going to turn the trend positive. And if the trend turns positive, then I'm just going to flip myself. And every time it dips below the moving average, it goes above, I'll be a buyer. I'll be trading with the moving average the other way. Okay. Now more greens here, more greens. It definitely looks like it wants to move towards the 18,200, which is recovering pretty much the lows of the day. So, what do you guys think? Are you digging this? Sorry, that I'm not killing it today because the markets are just not cooperative. But it's much more important. I wanted to share the technique, because technique is, once you have technique, you can make any recipe in the world. Sometimes the ingredients are bad, but you can always buy new ingredients the next day. As long as you have a technique, you can really make a great recipe. If you don't have a technique, it doesn't matter what you have as ingredients; it's going to suck. So we're rocking. I mean, it looks like we might turn positive on the. Yeah, everything turns. I'm looking at gold turning positive. NASDAQ turning positive. For us right now, since the dominant trend is negative and we're way, way, way above the moving average, there's literally nothing to do. Nothing to do. If I'm looking at this sort of from my own personal point of view, what would I be doing here? Given the fact that we had such a big, big move, now I'd be looking to change my direction, my bias. And if it drops below the moving average, comes back up above it, I'll be buying those. I'll be buying that moving average recovery. I'll be buying that trade. I'll be going the other way because it looks to me like they really consolidated and bought the bottom. But we're not quite out of the woods yet. Really want to see some, higher. If you get these higher moves to squeeze out, because it could just be a trade to the top of the range, and then it kind of dies out. So I'm willing to give it benefit of the doubt and just watch it a little bit. But NAS is the strongest. Look at that. NAS has gone to 2,000. Or 200. I'm sorry, 18,200. Really, really trying to get up there. Could you please show off the indicator and trade only with the SMA? I'm sorry. What does that mean? This is just the SMA and this is just the indicator. There's nothing else. The full indicator with labels and everything else is suppressed right now to make it really, really clean and clear. Market very strong. They're really trying to run that 200 level. Just watching it here carefully. Yes, and Jimbo's saying he gets it. He'll be in the room. He grabbed a couple of Apex accounts. The best way, the absolute best way to practice this is with Apex accounts. I'll tell you why. As long as you keep to my sizing, and let me give you the sizes. I want to give you the proper sizes. So if you're trading $250,000 account, you trade one mini. That's it. No more. One mini, 1 to 3 risk reward. Let the chips fall where they may. If you trade the $50,000 account, the maximum you want to trade is 5 micros maximum. But really, you want to trade just 2 micros. Just to start with. If you trade that small size, you will have days and days and days of keeping those accounts alive and practicing and getting the technique and getting it right. And if you're like a fish to water, some people are natural athletes. They get the setup right away. They get the timing right away. They're super zoned into the market. You'll start banking it away right away. So whether it takes you a while or it takes you just a couple of minutes, this is the way to do this. And there's no better way of doing it than with Apex accounts because there's nothing like practicing on real money. What I mean by real money is you paid money for that account. So it matters. Even if it's $20, even if it's $40, you still paid money. It's completely different mentality, completely different attitude than if you're just trading on a paper trading account. It's literally like being in a simulator in a 747. Although I should make no Boeing references at all at this point. It's like being in a simulator in an Airbus as it goes. All right, my friends. We had a long session today. Not much going on. We did a lot of trades. We did get a few of them successful. Overall, was a little bit of a bleed day. But next week, new trades, new setups. I'm going to stay to the trend setup with everybody for a while. I'm not going to get advanced. I'm not going to get cute. I'm not going to get fancy. The only instrument that I am sort of naturally bullish, and the only instrument that I may trade just from the long side next time I see you guys is gold, just because it's just such a strong underlying bid. But everything else, we're going to try to trade to trend. Maybe it will be in positive trend, and we can just buy all those moving averages. But overall, I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it. I'll see everybody next Tuesday. I'm doing this the whole month of May. Very, very excited to hang out with you guys. Any questions? Hit us up in contact@bktraders.com. Kathy put out the links. Let me just get the links over here. If you want to, let me just get all the links over here. Hang on. I wonder if I could copy all of this. Why can't I copy this? Oops. Hang on. Huh. Oh, here we go. I finally grabbed it. Okay. Command C. I'm putting this in chat right now. And hopefully this comes in, right? Did it come in? Why is this not working? Oh. Okay, I think it's I guess it's just too many things that there's a limit to the chat, which I didn't realize. Okay, I put the links in there. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, both days. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Look how we are crawling above the 8-period moving average. 207. No mercy for the shorts. No mercy for the shorts today. That is the story of the day today. No mercy for the shorts, right? Just an absolute crawl to the upside. All right, let's see how it goes. I'll see you guys next Tuesday, next Wednesday. Everybody have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys in long. It's 3 months. Past the prop is full 90 days, total immersive intensity. Really, really fun. Click that link. It'll tell you exactly what the event is. And come hang out with me. Come trade the Apex. We'll have a great time. I'll try to get everybody to pass the test. So far, we've been like, 1 or 2 people every single week's been passing it with me. And it's just been a really great pleasure. So hopefully we'll get more. Guys, thank you so much. Everybody enjoy. This will be posted up in just a little bit. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Take care.